Let us start recording and let me share my screen to all of you. So, good morning, dear students. Today we are going to start a new concept, that is mining association rules in large databases. Okay. So, mining association rules in large databases means here we are going to find the association between the data and what are the types of rules that are existed with this association, and how do we make this association, how do we find the association between the database, between the data. For this mainly we are going to discuss about the mining frequent patterns, association and correlations. What are these frequent patterns? What is this association and correlations? How do you find the relations between the data? And what do you mean by frequent patterns? What are all these things we are going to learn today? Okay, so the mining process is carried out for the data in the database to find out the frequent patterns. Okay, so frequent patterns are patterns, or we can say items, item sets or substructures. We can say anything. Okay, so these are the topics that concludes this entire topic: mining frequent patterns or associations and correlations. The previous title, which we're having, mining association rules in large databases. All these things is comprises of these many topics. We are going to have the basic concepts and roadmap, efficient and scalable frequent item set mining methods. Next, mining various kinds of association rules. Next, from association mining to correlation analysis. Next, finally, the constraint-based association mining. These are the list of concepts that comprises of this entire chapter. This is entirely our third unit actually. Okay. So in this, let us discuss. If possible, we'll discuss the first we'll complete the basic concepts under roadmap. Then we will go for the efficient and scalable frequent item set mining methods today. We may not entirely cover the efficient and scalable frequent item set mining methods because it comprises of two algorithms as per our syllabus: frequent patterns and association, FP growth algorithm and a priori algorithm. Two algorithms we will be discussing there. Those two we will discuss in the next class. So today we will be completing these two concepts. The first concept entirely will complete, and the introduction part of the first thing will complete. Efficient and scalable frequent item set mining methods. Okay, let us get started. Then what is frequent pattern analysis? What do you mean by frequent pattern? You know a pattern. A pattern can be a set of items. It can be a set of things. So pattern is nothing but what you consider. Okay, we can say, you may say that the pattern is nothing but a design. Okay, but what do you mean by pattern? Frequent patterns. There are some things which occurs frequently, or uh, things that occur repeatedly. A set of things occurring repeatedly. Set means we can say more than one item. If I say more than one item, two things are always seen together. Like in our class, our CR is having his friends, isn't it? Those three of them will be seen together wherever we go. We can say they are together, found everywhere we go. We say they are a pattern. Okay, likewise, if two or more things are always seen together, then we are going to call them as frequent patterns. Okay, like Jayant, Madhav, and Lokesh. They are frequent patterns. Wherever we go, we find them as a group in whichever place we go. Like it can be a seminar, it can be a workshop, it can be some taking care of the class things, it can be getting scoldings from the faculty uh, for the class mistakes. Everything, those three will be together bearing everything. Likewise, we can say. So likewise, if things are found together, we are calling them as frequent patterns. Likewise, in the data set also, there are some things that they occur to be always together. So such things we are calling them as frequent patterns. And this particular frequent patterns analysis was first identified or proposed by Agarwal. This is Agarwal, and this particular um, notations that we have given here is nothing but about their writings and what are their names. Agarwal, Lemensky, and Swami. These are the persons who first proposed this particular frequent pattern analysis. Okay, this particular frequent pattern analysis and frequent item sets and association rule mining was the thing that was proposed by these persons. They felt that frequent item sets and association rule mining are important for the data to be mined properly, effectively. That is why these three are the persons who talked about or who proposed the frequent item sets and association rule mining methodology. Okay. So if there are frequent patterns, obviously there will be an association between the item sets because they will go together. Whenever the person, if at all I want to ask for Jayant, I can ask Madhav his whereabouts. If I want to ask about Madhav, I can go to location and ask. Likewise, don't get I highlighting only three persons. It is a thing that happens always because we are all familiar with those persons. Okay, so what is the motivation for the frequent analysis? The main motivation for the frequent analysis is inherent regularities. Like we can say, inherent, we can say, uh, forever, we can say, or by nature, we can say. By nature, there are some regularities in the data. In order to find out them, we are going to go for the frequent pattern analysis. So here we have given some of the examples of frequent patterns. You see, what products were often purchased together? What products were often purchased together? Beer and diapers. Because in those days, I think I have mentioned this in the first class. Beers and diapers, they are bought together. They may be, the diapers are for the babysitting. When there are kids and babies, infants at home, they will be putting on diapers to the infants, babies. So in order to look after them, they are going to, obviously in my analysis, since long hours, even in the nights, infants have to be kept watching. We have to keep watching the infants. So always whenever the person goes and buys the diapers, even the beer is also purchased. So these two are the items which are purchased together. That is why we are calling them as frequent patterns. And whereas what are the subsequent purchases after buying a PC? What do? Once you buy a PC, what are you going to buy? You're going to buy a music system. You're going to buy a separate hard disk. What are you going to do? So దీన్ని మనం ఏమనొచ్చు అంటే మార్కెట్ బాస్కెట్ అనాలిసిస్ అనే కాన్సెప్ట్ కూడా మనకు తర్వాత వస్తుంది. సో ఇక్కడ ఏం చెప్తున్నారు అని అంటే మనం ఒక వస్తువు కొన్న తర్వాత ఆ వస్తువుతో పాటుగా ఏమేమి ఐటమ్స్ ఫ్రీక్వెంట్ గా కొనొచ్చు ఒక కస్టమర్ అన్నవాడు. దాన్ని బట్టి ఆ వస్తువుతో పాటుగా ఈ ఫ్రీక్వెంట్ గా రిపీట్ అయ్యే ప్యాటర్న్ ఐటమ్స్ కూడా ప్లేస్ చేసి ఆ దగ్గరలోనే, లైక్ నేను పీసీ ప్లేస్ చేసినప్పుడు దాని దగ్గరలోనే గనక నేను ఇంకో వస్తువు ఏదైనా ప్లేస్ చేశాను అనుకో, లైక్ ప్రింటర్ ఐఎమ్ ప్లేసింగ్ అండ్ ఐఎమ్ providing offer to the printer, 30% discount or 40% discount. So what does it? It will make the customer wanting to buy that particular printer. Don't know whether how much useful it is. Since he is getting that for cheap, he is going to buy the printer also. So the analysis must be done along with the PC, which could be the frequent pattern. So when you buy a particular PC, what are the subsequent purchases that can be made by the customer? Okay. Next, if you are identifying a new drug, what are the, or you are finding a new drug, for that new drug, what are the DNAs that are sensitive? So how far this drug is effective, how far it is sensitive, all those things. So when we know the frequent patterns, then we are able to find out the effectiveness of the new drug. Which DNAs are reacting to that, which DNAs are opposing to that, that can be identified. Which are reacting to that, which are opposing to that, which are not reacting to that. All of them identified to be set of frequent items. If when a drug is applied, few DNAs are showing some symptoms frequently, then they are considered as the frequent patterns. Next, can we automatically classify web documents? So here in the automatically classification of web documents also, this classification of web documents also is a part of the frequent pattern analysis. It is also become the motivation for the frequent pattern analysis. Okay. Then what are the applications of frequent pattern analysis? Just now I've said market basket data analysis. So this particular market basket data analysis, where ఈ మార్కెట్ బాస్కెట్ డేటా అనాలిసిస్ ఏంటి అంటే, ఒక కస్టమరు ఏదైనా ప్రోడక్ట్ కొనడానికి వెళ్ళినప్పుడు, సూపర్ మార్కెట్కి వెళ్ళినప్పుడు, ఆ సూపర్ మార్కెట్లో ఏ వస్తువులు కలిపి పెట్టారు. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ మనం ఏం పెట్టచ్చు, వీ కెన్ కీప్ ద మిల్క్, బ్రెడ్ అండ్ సెరల్. ఒక కస్టమర్ వచ్చి మిల్క్, బ్రెడ్, సెరల్ కొంటాడు. ఓకే. ఇంకో కస్టమర్ వచ్చి, కెన్ యూ సీ ద స్క్రీన్?
ఎస్ మ్యామ్.
ఓకే. సో ఇంకో కస్టమర్ వచ్చి, ఒక కస్టమర్ వచ్చి మిల్క్, బ్రెడ్, సెరల్ కొన్నాడు. ఇంకో కస్టమర్ వచ్చి మిల్క్, బ్రెడ్, షుగర్, ఎగ్స్ కొన్నాడు. ఓకే. సో ఇక్కడ కస్టమర్స్ అంటే కస్టమర్స్ చేసే పర్చేసెస్ మీద డిపెండ్ అయి ఉంటుంది ఆ షాపింగ్ అన్నది. ఎట్లాగా పర్టికులర్ సూపర్ మార్కెట్ అన్నది వస్తువుల ప్లేస్మెంట్స్, అక్కడ అమ్మే వస్తువులు ఎలాగ ప్లేస్ చేయాలి అన్నది ఈ మార్కెట్ బాస్కెట్ అనాలిసిస్ చెప్తుంది. సో నువ్వు ప్రొవైడ్ చేసే ఆ ప్లేస్మెంట్ ఆఫ్ వస్తువుల ద్వారా, థింగ్స్ ద్వారా, యూ కెన్ మేక్ మోర్ ప్రాఫిట్, because customers will buy more when they see the items together. Even they don't need it, they may use for it, they may buy it for their future use, considering that since we are getting it for cheap today, since it is cheap today, we can buy it, and later it may become costly, and since they are offering some offers over this, we can better buy this. This is how the customer will think, and he will make a purchase though he doesn't need it. Okay, that's what happens in this market basket analysis. Okay, so the best application here we are discussing here is that the best application for the market basket analysis is that supermarket. Here we are seeing that what do we call the market basket analysis? We would always be discussing about all electronic store, all electrons, where all electronic items are bought. So this all electronic store, what do they provide? If we consider all electronics branch, we would like to learn about the buying habits of the customers. And in this buying habits of the customer, you may be wondering which are the items that are bought together. Specifically, which groups or sets of items are customer purchase whenever he comes whenever he comes to the store. So whenever he comes to the store, what are the items the customer is buying? That you can see. See, look at here. This is the supermarket where the market analyst is standing there, and she's trying to find out which items are frequently purchased together by the customers. She's wondering. So these are the shopping baskets. Can you see this? Is it clear to you, Lokesh? So the customer one is buying milk, bread, and cereal, and customer two is buying milk, bread, sugar, and eggs. Customer three, milk, bread, butter. Whereas the customer n number of customers. Customer n is buying sugar and eggs. So likewise, a number of customers are buying different items. So here this market analyst pays some attention and try to find out. So when milk is bought, everywhere the bread is also bought. So when milk is placed, you can also place the bread together. So there may be a customer who doesn't need the necessity of bread, but what do they do? The supermarket people, what do they do? This analyst will give the, we will come to a conclusion that yes, when milk is brought, bread is also brought. Let us keep them together. Okay, so that is the kind of conclusion they get. Whenever the milk is placed, along with that bread is also placed. There may be some ex-customer who will be coming and buying. He may not need the bread, but once he buys the milk, along with that he will also buy the bread. Though there is no necessity, he will also buy the bread. In that way, the supermarket can make its profit. So, how do we find the interesting correlation relationship among huge amount of business transaction records? This is what we call about frequent pattern analysis. So, how the catalog should be designed for the decision making processes, for the marketing. How do we design the catalog? How the cross marketing can be done, and how the customer shopping behavior can be analyzed. All these things are frequent pattern analysis. Okay, so why frequent pattern mining is important? Why frequent pattern mining is important? What is the necessity of frequent pattern mining? Because it discloses an intrinsic and important property of dataset. Because the frequent pattern analysis exposes or reveals, we can say, reveals the innermost relationship between the data sets. And the intrinsic, that is innermost relationship between the data sets is very much important property of the data set. That particular relationship can be identified when we apply this frequent pattern mining. Okay, these are the many essential data mining tasks for the frequent pattern analysis: association, correlation, and causality analysis. Next is sequential structural patterns, pattern analysis in spatiotemporal, multimedia, time series, and stream data. classification, cluster analysis, data warehousing, semantic data compression. There are very broad varieties of applications for the frequent pattern mining. Okay, so if you are thinking the frequent pattern mining is important, let us know what is the frequent pattern mining. See, there are two measures that we have to remember. Support and confidence are the two measures in order to find out the interestingness between the data sets. So we can say that these support and confidence are denoted as the two measures of rule interestingness. Two measures of rule interestingness. Okay, so these two are important, support and confidence. So first, we have given a table in which there are transaction IDs are given and what are the items A, B, C, D, E, F, G. These are the items. Okay, so look at this. The item set contains, there is a set of item set X, capital X, which is containing K number of items. Okay, we have to find all the rules X tends to Y with the minimum support and confidence. So, as I said, if there is a, if we consider universe as a set of items available, then each item has a Boolean value, Boolean variable, representing the presence or absence of that item. Okay, so each basket that we have seen in the previous slide can be represented by a Boolean vector of values assigned to these variables. Okay, the Boolean vectors can be analyzed for buying patterns that reflect items that are frequently associated and purchased together. And these patterns can be represented in the form of association rules. And for example, the information that customers who purchase computers also tend to buy antivirus software. When he buys the computer, automatically he buys the antivirus software also at the same time. So that can be represented. When the computer is bought, we can say that when the customer is trying to buy the computer. So computer. When the customer is trying to buy the computer, he will also buy the antivirus software. So this is the correlation, association I found. When the computer is bought, antivirus software is also bought. And what is its support count? Let us say yes for support count. And the support for this together or correlation between antivirus and computer is 2% support. And what is the confidence? The confidence for this will be 60%. You should keep in mind these are important measures I am telling. It is 60%. Okay. So when the computer is bought, this association extends to Y with the minimum support and confidence. We have to find out all the rules between computer and antivirus. If computer is bought, automatically antivirus is also bought. The support measure for this is 2% and the confidence measure for that is 60%. Okay. So these patterns can be represented in this association. This I can say association rule. This is the association rule. I concluded. Okay, as I said, the rule support and confidence are two measures of rule interestingness. These two, support and confidence, They reflect the usefulness and certainty of discovered rules. So here a support for 2% for association rule means that 2% of all the transaction under analysis show that computer and antivirus are purchased together. 2%. Here we have given support is 2%, which means that 2% of all the transactions under analysis. So under our analysis, we found that 2% of all the transaction show that computer and antivirus software are purchased together. Okay. Whereas here we got the 60% confidence measure. So a confidence of 60% means that 60% of the customers who purchased a computer also bought the software. So we can say that under our analysis, we come to a conclusion that okay, 2% of people who buys computer, they will also buy the antivirus. Whereas a confidence measure gives us that the customers who purchased the computers also bought the software. There is a clarity, there is a result given for the conference. Yes, the persons who bought the computer, they also bought the antivirus software. So support means okay, maybe they may buy the software, the computer. When they buy the computer, they will also buy the antivirus. But here, but the confidence is it is a measure that already proven measure that 60% of the people who bought the computer, they also bought the antivirus. Already happened. So the association rules, they are considered interesting. How do you say that whether the association rules are interesting or not? We can say that the association rules are considered interesting if they satisfy both the support and confidence. Minimum support threshold and minimum confidence threshold. If they satisfy, association rules satisfy the minimum support threshold, minimum confidence threshold, then we can say yes, those association rules are considered to be interesting. Okay, and such thresholds can be set by the users or domain experts. Whoever is making use of that, they can set the rules, thresholds. What is threshold? We can say what is the um, threshold is a rule. We can say support threshold and confidence threshold is the minimum value it has to satisfy. Okay. So let us come to this support. Yes. So here we are given an example with the transaction IDs and item support. So we are trying to find out the interestingness. So we have to find out all the rules with minimum support and minimum confidence. So support, yes, probability that a transaction contains X union Y, which means that there is a probability. Whereas confidence means a conditional probability, definite result. Conditional probability that a transaction, whenever a transaction is made for X, definitely it will also contain Y. Whereas support means there is a probability when X is there, there may also be Y. So here the minimum support count, I said the threshold, support threshold. The minimum support count is 50%, whereas minimum confidence is 50%. So here we are given how many items? A, B, C, D, E, F. How many items? Altogether 5 items are there. 6 items are there. Okay, out of all 6 items, for the transaction 10, A, B, D are bought together. So here you have to find out how many times A is repeated here. A 1 and D is 1. D is never same. Next, along with A, D is there. Again, in transaction 2, A and D again occurred here. This is another time. So in transaction 30, A and D, again another occurrence. But where in transaction 40, we are not finding any in A and D, but B, E, F, three different transactions are there. Three different items are bought. But here A and D is purchased together in all the three transactions. So three occurrences for A and D. We can say A and D are having three occurrences. Okay. Whereas for now transaction 50, here BEF it should find. Okay, BEF is having, here BEF is there, here BEF is there. So we can say BEF is having B, E, and F. They are having two occurrences. And you can see here AD, AD. Okay, AD finished. CD, CD and CD. For C and D, two occurrences. సో ఇక్కడ మనం ఏం చేస్తున్నాము, రెండు ఐటమ్స్ కలిపి ఉన్న ఐటమ్స్ వాటి అక్కరెన్సెస్. సి అండ్ డి రెండు సార్లు కొన్నారు. మనం ఇక్కడ ఎంత ఇచ్చాము, సపోర్ట్, మినిమం సపోర్ట్ కౌంట్ 50%, కాన్ఫిడెన్స్ మినిమం కాన్ఫిడెన్స్ 50% ఇచ్చాం. సో ఇక్కడ మనం ఐడెంటిఫై చేసిన ఫ్రీక్వెంట్ ప్యాటర్న్స్ అన్ని లిస్ట్ అవుట్ చేసాం. ఏ 3 times, బి 3 times, డి అయితే ఇక్కడ ఆల్రెడీ 3+ ఇక్కడ అంటే ఇక్కడ 1 2 3 4 times డి కొనింది. అంటే ఈచ్ ఇండివిజువల్ ఐటమ్స్ ని వాటి నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ టైమ్స్ అకరెన్సెస్ రాసాం. ఇక్కడ చూస్తే ఏ 3 times, బి 3 times, డి 4 times, ఈ 3 times వచ్చింది. వెరాజ్ ఏడి 3 times వచ్చింది. వి ఆల్రెడీ గోట్. మనం ఏం చేసామంటే ఇక్కడ 2 items టుగెదర్ ప్యాటర్న్స్ ఐడెంటిఫై చేస్తే ఇక్కడ ఫస్ట్ మనకి ఫ్రీక్వెంట్ ప్యాటర్న్స్ లో ఇండివిజువల్ ఐటమ్స్ వాటి అకరెన్సెస్ ఇక్కడ డిఫైన్ చేశారు. సో ఇక్కడ అసోసియేషన్ రూల్ ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేసినప్పుడు ఏ టు డి, when item A is bought, B is also bought together. So this support measure is 60% and the confidence is 100%. Okay, whereas between D and A, when item D is bought, along with that A is also bought, the support measure for that is 60%. This we can say that when the customer is trying to buy the diaper, he will also buy beer. When the customer is buying a beer, there is no chance that he will also buy the diaper. So that's how. So that is why when the customer is buying A, along with that he will also buy the D. There is a confidence measure, 100% confidence measure. But here, when he bought D, he will also buy A. For that, the confidence measure is 75% only, not 100%. So here, when the customer buys the beer, the customer will also buy the diaper. So when the customer buys both, the customer buys the beer, along with that he will also buy the customer diaper. This is the confidence measure. Both the things takes place. When one is bought, the other is also bought. So in this way, we should find out the association between the data items. So we are going to divide the items into item set. So support is the probability that a transaction takes place, X and Y together. Whereas confidence is the transaction took place when they bought X, they also bought the Y. Okay. So here we need to learn few things. Frequent patterns, closed item sets, closed patterns, or closed item sets and association rules and maximum patterns. Okay, let the capital I be the set of items I1 to In. Capital I be the set of items it will be having the items I1, I2, and so on. IM. There are M number of items in the item set. And there is capital D. We can say D the task relevant data. We can say D the task relevant data. And this can be set of database transactions that were done. Here we are having this. These are the set of transactions that are carried out. How many number of transactions? 5 transactions. So D can be that set of transactions that are carried out. Okay, and those transactions are represented with capital T. Each transaction T will belong to the item set I, which means that the customer is buying these items whenever a transaction is made. Okay, and each transaction is identified with an identifier and we call them T, capital T, T1, T2, T3 and so on, and number of transactions. So each transaction is denoted with an identifier T1, T2 and so on Tn. Okay, and let A be the set of items. Okay, let A be the set of items. A transaction C T is said to contain A if and only if A is a subset of T. Okay, a transaction T is said to contain A if and only if A is subset of T, which means that we are telling that A is a set of items and transaction T is said to contain A if and only if A is subset or equal to transaction. So an association rule is the implication of the form of A tends to B. Association rule. The implication of the form of A tends to B. Okay, where A is a subset of transaction item sets I and B is a subset of transaction item set I, which means that A is subset of T and B is subset of T. Okay, and when A and B, A intersection B is null. This is the rule you should remember. If I say A is a item set, A is an item from the item set I, B is an item from the item set I, then you should have A intersection B is 5, nothing. So the rule A tends to B holds in the transaction set D with the support S, where S is the percent of transaction in D that contains A union B. That is the set of A and B, or we will say both the items A and B. So we can say that the probability of A union B of A union B And the rule A tends to B has confidence. C in the transaction set D, where C is the percentage of transactions in D containing A that also contain B. And this can be represented with the conditional probability P of B by A. Okay. So here there are some measures we need to discuss here. These are the measures. Closed patterns and max patterns. Once you know. So these are the list of item sets, and if I say A tends to, in our textbook, double line is used. A tends to B. I'll say A is part of item set, B is part of item set. And while I am constructing this association rule, that is A tends to B, it is having that this particular transaction is having a support, that is, yes, there is a support count, yes, which says that the percentage of transactions that contain A union B. S means A union B. This I can also say the probability of A union B, I said. Okay. So, whereas if I say there is a support count, there is a confidence measure which says that the customer who buys that particular product, there is a probability that when I can, the confidence measure is that in the way A, if a transaction contains A, that will also contains B, and that is represented P of B by A, which means that if a transaction contains A, that will also contain B. So these are the two measures, um, uh, notations we are going to use. And the conditional probability that can be given for the support and the confidence are this. S for support and the C for confidence. And these are the conditional probabilities that are given. P of A union B for support, P of B by A for the confidence. And using this, the rules that satisfy both the minimum support threshold and the minimum confidence threshold, they are called as strong. Okay. Then how are we going to identify this closed patterns, maximum patterns? We are going to discuss in our next class. Okay, if you have any doubts, you can ask me, students. I just wanted to go in detail. That is why I explained it very detailed, in very detail. Okay. If you have any doubts, you can ask.